Live today, Monday afternoon, and I am switching my show up a little bit now, taking a break in between the 1970s streams that I have. And I am doing this at the suggestion of a good friend of mine. I know him as Cynthia Lee, and he does his show every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, 10 p.m., 10 a.m. on Seattle time, and so on and so forth. And he's a scam baiter, a master scam baiter. He is hilarious. He does the Court Zorker Cynthia Lee show. And check him out. His channel is Cynthia, Cintia. You'll see all of his videos, all of his, that he had live streams and a lot of the chat rooms, and we just have a ball. I mean, sometimes he goes for almost 8 hours and it's worth every minute. Anyway, this is a story. This is a piece. The show is called Folklore in 1970s Florida. And this story, and it's mythical. It's not real, of course. And I think most of us know, but some people are stuck. They're like maybe the Star Trek geeks and the Star Wars geeks, even though those are made up films and TV shows. Evidently, this is real to some people. I caught this on, it was in 2018 from the Immokalee, Florida Bulletin. And it's a story about this mythical being. And it's not the Everglades, Himalayan Yeti, or the Oregon Sasquatch. And speaking of Oregon, my friend Lee had a song called Oregon Sucks. So now I think I see why now and why you don't want to go back there. But anyway, it's not them, but it's other than the skunk ape. Woo! I wish I had the dun, dun, dun. The gun sound effects. But anyway, yes, it's the skunk ape. And it has the top 3 nicknames it has are the Swamp Cabbage Man, the Swamp Squatch, and the Florida Bigfoot. And of course, Bigfoot, I mean, there's nothing to really, I mean, there's no description, no introduction needed. I have heard of the Bigfoot since, first time I heard of it was 1976 when I was 8 years old. And of course, when you're a kid, you believe anything. And you're like, oh, wow, the Bigfoot. Oh, and to me, after a while, even at that young, I took it as, oh, it's just a man in some ape suit. And that's all half of it. Sometimes I think that's all it is. I think these people are probably pranking these people, running around in these outfits and then discarding them and running off, into oblivion. That's how I would see it. I mean, anyway, too, this creature is known to be about maybe 6'8", about 500 pounds, and like a scruffy kind of rust or dark brown fur. But the characteristic it's really known for the most is its rank odor. I mean, come on, wouldn't you expect that though? And it's been said it's a cross between skunk and roadkill, which is bad enough. And there are more worse descriptions of that as we go along the story. And this creature is a cryptid being, meaning that its existence in present days has been disputed and unsubstantiated by scientific community. Translation, please. Fake. Duh. Yet, cryptozoologists, otherwise known as pseudoscientists, aim to protect the existence of entities from the folklore records and evidence reported about the skunk ape. So they're protecting its identity or from being reported. Why, I don't know. Well, again, because, their sanity would be questioned and their jobs would be on the line. That's the way I see it. That's my theory. Anyway, on to the sightings. First sighting in 1972 in a West Palm Beach subdivision. That was the same year a Pahokee resident and his dog fled from a hairy 8-foot creature in West Palm Beach County. And in 1974, in June, a creature picked up a farmer's 110-pound hog and attacked it. And Cone, too, farmer, Ooh, that done had smell that would make the hairs of your back and your neck stand up. It done attacked my hogs and ripped them clean apart. And same year in September, a security guard in Wellington supposedly shot one in a construction site where he was posted, and he said the creature had a smell like he'd been bathing in rotten eggs. So I guess if you mix that with roadkill and skunk, yeah, it's it's bound. Yeah, you could probably smell that from here in Fort Lauderdale all the way down to Key West. So anyway, and 1977 was a huge year for sightings. First one being that 2 workers reported seeing a 7-foot tall hairy creature quenching his thirst in a lake and a Delray Beach suburban golf course. Kind of the same way in that song Werewolves of London, that classic song by the late great Warren Zevon, where he noted that he saw a pina colada. Start me. He saw a werewolf drinking a pina colada at Trader Vic's, and his hair was perfect. But evidently, that wouldn't be the case for this hygienically challenged being. I don't think his hair was perfect. And so moving right along, the workers notified the Palm Beach County Animal Control Division, but no reports were filed because, once again, their sanity would most likely be questioned and their jobs would be on the line. So the top story in 1977 were a family by the name of the Stockman family who lived in Key Largo, and they reported spotting one that was about 8 to 9 foot tall with a huge head and shoulders, long fur all over, and stank like a dirty, wet dog. Now, come on. Don't insult dirty, wet dogs like that. Dirty, wet dogs smell bad, but come on, not that bad. So they're kind of underestimating the skunk ape's rank smell. So in other words, he didn't smell really that bad. And but the family, what they tried to do to discourage any more visits, they cleared 30 foot of the shrubbery around their house. But evidently the swamp ape, he felt like he was family to them, like a new addition. So he kept visiting one time after another. And they got so terrified that they had to flee to Homestead. And responding to the family's terrorized pleas were a Monroe County Sheriff's deputy and a sergeant who tried to hunt down, tried to see if they can hunt down this creature for themselves. But as expected, no trace of the being was found or was spotted. So there you go. Mr. Stockman, at the time afterward, he stayed at home armed with a shotgun and later joined his family in Dade County afterwards. A short time after this, some Tavernier residents formed what they called the skunk ape posse. They were armed with flashlights, lanterns, camera, snake bite medication, and they began what was called a skunk ape safari. Wow. Oh my goodness. That really sounds like an adventure in itself. I mean, constantly chasing after nothing. I guess they must have a lot of time on their hands, but I guess being though in this day and age, not only would they have to go out and chase this skunk ape with masks on their face to hide the smell, they would literally need to guard against, of course, COVID-19 mixed with the smell makes for a very deadly concoction. So that would be, the mask would really do double duty in that aspect. And in 1978, a Lantana resident spotted one in his backyard at 5 a.m. and some Boca residents reported sightings to police as well. Also, on another note, separate from the skunk ape, oh, I can't talk today. A Key Largo resident claimed he discovered the lost city of Atlantis, and upon close inspection at low tide, Atlantis was nothing but an ancient fossilized brain coral, which, of course, the brain coral had more smarts than this resident, this tool did, obviously. And anyway, I think my theory is a lot of these people that report these sightings with the brain coral more than likely never came back from their LSD trips in the late 60s. So that's my theory. And of course, up until now, there have still been sightings, not sure about the skunk ape, but there have been sightings supposedly of the Bigfoot and the Sasquatch. And of course, these posses are still hunting them down and going in their Sasquatch safaris, their maybe the Himalayan Yeti, the Bigfoot. I mean, it's like, these stories are like, they're like I said, Star Wars, what Star Wars and Star Trek are to these Star Trek and Star Wars followers to, it's the same thing, only Star Trek and Star Wars, they're both mythical. They're both not real, and the creatures are mythical, but the Star Wars and oh my God, see, Star Wars and Star Trek are not in my vocabulary or in my brain, so I can't really describe. It never comes out naturally, but the fans of Star Wars and Star Trek know that they're just real TV shows and movies, but they like to kind of get into it, play act and whatever. However, these idiots know, they feel that these mythical creatures are real. So big difference. Anyway, according up until now, or up until 2018, up until now, there still have been news reports that the skunk ape is still with us. So anyway, let me know your opinions and tell me what you think. And please, if you can, subscribe and hit the notification button, as I will have frequent topics coming up. And I am doing my last rendition of the 70s in retrospect on Friday at 1 p.m. for 1979. And in between, watch out for those skunk apes. If you smell a really rank odor, just be careful. That might be who it will be. So either go into lockdown if you can. Too bad you don't have basements if you're in Florida, because you might strike water. But whatever you do, I hope you're prepared. If you still smell that rank odor, prepare yourselves, because it might be another sign of the apocalypse like COVID-19. Anyway, see you next Friday at 1 p.m. and have a wonderful week, and I will see you then. Bye.